All right, let's jump right into this explainer. I want you to picture the village of Anand in Gujarat, way back in 1946. Local farmers were completely trapped by middlemen who held this massive monopsony power. I mean, they were buying milk for absolute pennies and then turning around and selling it at huge margins to the Bombay government. These farmers were just being ruthlessly exploited. They had zero leverage, no supply chain to speak of, and absolutely no brand equity. But they did have one crucial asset, and that was each other.
So they banded together and formed a cooperative, naming it after the Sanskrit word amulya, which beautifully translates to priceless. And this foundational idea really proved that by uniting and consolidating their super fragmented supply, they were actually creating something of immense, immeasurable economic and social value.
Fast forward 75 years, and wow, that grassroots cooperative mission has exploded into an 80,000 crore rupee FMCG behemoth. From just one single milk product, Amul now commands over 150 products, all rolling out of 40 state-of-the-art plants. We're talking butter, cheese, ice cream, chocolates, paneer, even pizza. From five-star hotels in Mumbai to a roadside dhaba in rural Rajasthan, it's the exact same brand, the exact same mission, 7 decades later. So, how exactly did they scale so effectively? Well, they built a completely flawless marketing machine. You guys already know Jerome McCarthy introduced the 4 Ps of marketing framework back in 1960, which Philip Kotler later popularized. But Amul, they had literally been operationalizing this exact tactical framework since 1946, way before academia even came up with a formal name for it. Here is our roadmap for today: product, price, place, and promotion. While your STP is your strategy, the 4 Ps are your execution. So let's break down each pillar using Amul as our masterclass. Pillar number 1, product, the innovation pipeline. Amul has achieved total category dominance with an absolutely staggering 450-plus SKUs. They boast one of the most diversified portfolios in the entire country. And by continuously expanding like this, they've built massive economies of scope, maximizing their production efficiency while keeping that hallmark quality strictly uniform across the entire board. And what's super fascinating here is their expansion playbook. I mean, they started out in phase 1 with just that iconic, trusted yellow and red butter pack, right? But then they kept pushing. Phase 2 brought milk, cheese, ice cream. Phase 3 introduced paneer, ghee, chocolates. They didn't just passively add products. They actively captured entirely new consumption occasions, even moving into ready-to-eat items like kadi chawal. The real strategic genius here, though, is umbrella branding. Amul hyper-localizes its offerings. You've got Mishti Doi in Bengal, Basundi in Gujarat, and premium chocolate truffle cakes targeting Tier 1 urban cities. But every single new launch leans on the exact same asset, the trusted Amul name. Using this single umbrella drastically lowers the customer acquisition cost for every new product they introduce, simply because the consumer doesn't need to be convinced anymore.
Moving right along to pillar 2, price, the revenue driver.
Now, remember, out of all the 4 Ps, this is the only one that actually brings in money. Everything else is a cost. Amul uses a brilliantly dynamic pricing mix to just own the market. For daily staples that cover huge market segments like milk and ghee, they deploy competitive penetration pricing to aggressively defend their market share. For other categories, they use straightforward cost-plus pricing to lock in consistent margins, and they sprinkle in psychological pricing, like tagging an item at 99 rupees instead of 100 to drive up volume. And this right here is value-based pricing perfectly operationalized. On one side, you have a 2 rupee toffee targeting high rural price elasticity in Bihar. On the exact opposite side, a 500 rupee block of gourmet cheese targeting a high-income professional in Bangalore. Same brand trust, but aggressively segmented at completely different price points to capture maximum market value across all demographics. All right, pillar 3, place, the distribution moat. Getting your product from the factory floor into the consumer's hands requires insane, almost unbelievable scale. Amul reaches over 3.5 million retail outlets across India. We are talking true omni-channel presence here, from a remote kirana store in a UP village to a premium supermarket in Bandra West, right down to airport lounges and modern quick commerce apps. And since dairy spoils quickly, they had to build the largest cold chain network in India, backing it up with a staggering 18,000 refrigerators. This creates a massive CapEx infrastructure moat. A new competitor might copy their ad campaigns or try to match their recipe, but there is absolutely no way they can replicate an 18,000 refrigerator cold chain network overnight. So how did they actually build this moat? Through a genius three-tier cooperative structure. You've got the village level, where cooperative societies produce the milk. Then, at the district level, milk unions handle processing and packaging. Finally, at the state level, milk federations manage the consolidation and marketing. It's basically decentralized mass production paired seamlessly with highly centralized distribution. Which brings us to our final pillar, Chapter 4, Promotion, the cultural voice. Let's take a trip back to 1967, the birth of the iconic Amul girl. She actually holds the Guinness World Record for the longest-running advertising campaign. And honestly, she transcends simple marketing. With witty, real-time commentary on current events, politics, sports, and social issues, she has become a deeply trusted cultural institution. Now here is a stat that will blow your mind. Amul spends just 1% of its revenue on advertising. 1%. To put that in perspective, most FMCG brands are burning through anywhere from 10 to 15%. Yet, Amul commands vastly stronger brand recall than multinational companies, outspending them tenfold. How is that even possible? Their secret sauce is flawless integrated marketing communication, specifically mastering the art of moment marketing. For over 55 years, they've kept this one consistent, satirical voice. If India wins a cricket World Cup, Amul is there. If a blockbuster Bollywood film drops, Amul has a witty take ready to go. They aren't just buying up ad space, they are embedding themselves directly into the daily cultural conversation of the country. So, if you take a step back, you really have to look at these 4 Ps not as separate silos, but as this massive compounding ecosystem. Those 450 SKUs are instantly trusted because of the Amul Girls promotion. That 3.5 million place network is what allows the value-driven price to actually reach the masses. Every single strategic decision makes the other elements stronger. Oh, and a quick pro tip for your exams. If you ever get a question asking you to analyze or recommend a brand strategy, please don't just throw out a list of loose ideas. Structure your whole argument strictly around the 4 Ps framework. It immediately proves to your graders that you actually understand how to translate high-level strategy into rigorous, real-world execution. All of this leaves us with a really fascinating question for our next explainer. We've seen how perfectly a brand can execute a strategy to sell to us. But what's actually going on inside our own heads? What are the deeply hidden psychological triggers that motivate consumers to buy things they don't even really need? We'll decode consumer motivation next time. Until then, keep analyzing the world around you.